Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, America. God bless America. I'm so happy to be back. I've been traveling for days, wasn't able to review Star Trek Discovery for a week, and man, that was good to skip it. It felt great, but unfortunately, we are back here covering, of course, Star Trek Discovery. And this episode was not such sweet sorrow. Well, it was sorrow watching it. It wasn't sweet. There was nothing sweet about it. So this episode of Star Trek Discovery, by the way, there'll be spoilers for what some people might call a plot from an entertainment TV show or a science fiction show. It's definitely not a Star Trek show. It's the Orville is our Star Trek. And of course, I had to start out with Star Trek Discovery tonight because I wanted to get the pain over with quickly. Fortunately, this was a filler episode. So Star Trek Discovery, it has a lot of firsts in suck. And this was honestly, back in the 80s and 90s when they didn't really have long story arcs. So the penultimate show for a series would just be filler. And we've gone back to that. This was a episode of saying the long goodbye to Michael Burnham because, well, it turns out she is the Red Angel for one. I don't want to bury the lead. Michael Burnham was the Red Angel. So we were all right from the beginning. There was just two Red Angels and they both happened to be Burnhams. But it turns out that signature that they found out with Michael Burnham, the human signature, whatever the hell they called it. It is her. It is Michael Burnham. They confused it with Mom because Mom had a suit too. So they are just going to construct another time suit willy-nilly, no problem. They can just do it because they have dark matter and time crystals, and they're going to just make supernovas because they got the super genius queen from the planet who eats ice cream. And yeah, it's more of this just horrible crap that they call television, that they call Star Trek. And yeah, it's been a week, so I've got a lot of pent up stuff with this show. We've had YouTube channels getting strikes from CBS. I still don't know what mine was from, but I suspect it might have been them since they hit Mecca right after. They hit Mecca and myself within a week, whoever they were. Now, whoever hit me with the copyright strike was a third party. So we don't actually know who contracted them out to have the bots sniffing out nothing. By the way, it was nothing because I did nothing wrong. So yeah, I'll get into a brief recap and then I'm more interested to see if any of you watched this episode. It turns out, so we ended last week's episode where let's do that because I didn't get to talk about that. We're going to talk about Pike knowing his fate. And that was the whole thing. We have a Klingon monastery that, by the way, besides being a monastery for Kalish, they also watch over time crystals. You know, that's kind of like the Catholics also, having nuclear energy and having a nuclear power plant, basically. So the Klingon Catholics had a nuclear power plant that is called the Time Crystals, and they oversee that, but they don't use it, even though the Empire is aware of it and the Chancellor is aware of it. But for some reason, the Klingons, the conquering Empire, decided to hold back on this one. Okay, it's Star Trek Discovery, and it turns out that the keeper or the head monk is Vok Tyler and L'Oreal's son, who, because he is within proximity of the time crystal, will age. And the trees instantly age, but as Doomcock pointed out, nobody de-ages or nobody turns to dust. It just kind of happens because willy-nilly, who cares? Tonight's episode was written by the showrunner of Star Trek Discovery, Michelle Paradise. So for any of you who held out hopes that maybe the new showrunner will bring a much-needed change to the show, nope. Not at all. Actually, it might have been a little worse, to be honest with you. So Pike because they have these magic time crystals. If you touch one, you get to see your fate, and then your fate for somehow knowing your fate, you're sealed into that fate no matter what you do. So they used a fixed point of time theory, kind of like Doctor Who, which is stupid as hell. I think Pike is walking into his fate bravely. He knows, but and he's not going to tell anybody about it because he just wants to die. I'm sorry. I like to survive. So if I knew my fate, I'd be hitting up every scientist. I don't know. One of my best friends is Spock. He's pretty smart. I'd probably talk to him about it. Nah, it's for me. It's for me to just go and die. So fine. So Pike knows his fate, and it is never discussed again. They don't even bring it up this episode. Like nobody goes, "Hey, what's bothering you? What's bothering you there, Pike? Seems like you got something on your mind." Nope, nothing. Thank you, Mighty Balzac, for the Australian $5. She was only the road worker's daughter, but she liked having her asphalt. Ashfelt. I get it, Mighty Balzac. Well, that is to be expected from somebody named Mighty Balzac. I am not disappointed. Thank you very much. He's here all week. Try the veal. Okay. So Leland is still out there, who might or might not be the origins of the Borg. What the hell? He might as well be at this point. Section 31, the super secret agency that checks in with everybody and shows their badges, and the Klingon Empire knows about it, and the Terran Empire knows about it now in the Mirror Universe. The only people who don't know about it are Starfleet, obviously, and Admiral Dumas. And they are on their way. So they have finally decided, because Michael Burnham had to come up with this decision, to destroy the Starship Discovery. The Starship Discovery, did you notice, is much bigger than the Enterprise. Now, when I saw them at the end of season 1, they were kind of facing each other and you couldn't really tell. But when they put them right next to each other in this episode, Discovery is like 2 or 3 times larger than the Enterprise. So it had to be bigger. So, it's good to know, even with the matriarchy that is Star Trek Discovery, that there is still a good amount of dick measuring going on. And it doesn't change, male or female. So I guess that's good to know. And Star Trek Discovery had to whip out a bigger dick, which is the crap ship Discovery. So they're going to self-destruct. And I don't know if you all figured this out, but I did before the episode started. They're not going to be able to self-destruct because the AI that doesn't know it's an AI yet, or wants to be an AI, but it's not an AI yet, even though it has a desire. So therefore it's conscious, but I guess it's not fully conscious, would defend itself because it's in the Discovery computer, because they downloaded all the sphere data, and then the AI got into Discovery's computer. So it of course is going to defend itself. So they do this whole thing of evacuating the ship, and they have these magic corridors that attach for docking, even though they have this thing called a transporter. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this kind of thing that they brought. It was in the original series, and they used it to move people from the ship to the planet, and it kind of dissolves their molecules and puts them back together. They have it in this show, but they decided not to use it, even though they've used it in the past to beam people within the ship. But they decided to make really long force field corridors that are, open to the vacuum of space, that can be hit by, like an asteroid or a little micro asteroid. No, let's just not even use the transporter. Forget it. So they move everybody over, and we finally get to see the interior of the Enterprise, which looks exactly 25% different than everything else. But it looks a lot like the Enterprise from J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies. But Bad Robot has nothing to do with this show, and for you to think that you would be ridiculous. Just ridiculous to think that. All the uniforms looked about 25% different. I would even go so far as to say that the color of their uniforms is 25% darker. It's a darker color. So the crew of the Discovery goes to they have this big evacuation, and they get over there and they go, damn, we can't self-destruct because it's defending itself. So let's go back on the Discovery. So that's what they do. They all just go back on the Discovery after that, after this big, long evacuation. It seemed like they just wanted to show a big, long evacuation scene and then put everybody back on the Discovery again. So, of course, it's Michael Burnham who figures out, because when they are evacuating the Discovery, they are packing up the time crystal, and she touches the phallic-y time crystal with both hands, and sees her future. And it's a good thing she touched that and sees the future. We see a future of a shuttlecraft or something being lodged into the Enterprise bridge. And Michael Burnham figures out that even destroying Discovery is not going to work. So after this big, long evacuation, they all have to go back on, and they realize they still have to send it to the future because that's the safest way to go. They couldn't, I don't know, plant some bombs inside the ship. They could, I don't know, could they use the transporter to, I don't know, transport a bomb or a photon torpedo that you can put a timer on that's not connected to anything? Or you could have some selfless crew member offer to go in there and blow it up by themselves, or get a drone that's, I don't know, just think of something other than, oh, let's just send it 1,000 years in the future using a time crystal that we can't figure out the technology on. So we have to find the space queen that likes ice cream named Poe. So this was from the short trek that Tilly was in. I don't know if you all remember this, but the short treks were all shot during season 2 as a way to try to get a little more money because they went over budget. Unfortunately, nobody bought the short treks internationally, so they showed them in Canada, they showed them here in America, and then they became part of basically your special features on Netflix. And one of them had this girl from a planet that has predator technology where she can, but oh no, she's not technology. It's part of her race. She's basically a superhero. She can go invisible. She can climb walls, and she's super smart, and she's 17, and she likes ice cream, and she's also a queen. And of course, the planet is her sister. Are you getting a bit of a female vibe on this one? Because again, Star Trek Discovery likes to be the Bechdel test. So they passed it with flying colors because they had one scene with a group of women discussing science, becoming friends, and eating ice cream. That was every horrible trope of Marvel Comics from the past 3 years, and they managed to fit it in one scene. Unfortunately, Tig Notaro is in this episode again, and her voice hasn't changed. Her inflection in her voice doesn't change at all. I don't know how anybody could sit in a room with this person for longer than 5 minutes without wanting to scream. And she is the worst actor on the show, worse than Sonequa Martin Green, and worse than Admiral Cornhole. And I'll get to the super chats in a second. So they sit around discussing. They never truly figure anything out. They always have a Deus Ex Machina. It's like, hey, we got the dark matter to fix the time crystal, and we'll just get the super genius 17-year-old who could just figure shit out. Now, Star Trek has done this in the past. I understand that, but they did it in little bits. They try to fit, again, way too much in one episode, and then they'll have an episode like this where I can't even begin to tell you how dumb this episode is, and then nothing happened. So, bringing over a space queen who likes ice cream, who can basically be Cherie from Black Panther, who figures out everything, that would be an episode enough in itself. But no, she just is a member of the crew, and she's going to go ahead and fix it. And she figures out the time crystal, but they can't power it. Or they needed a supernova to power it. So they just make that happen with the spore drive, of course. So they get the power of a supernova and route it through the Discovery and power the time crystal to build the suit for Michael Burnham, who is indeed the Red Angel. She is going to go in the future. By the way, it has to be her because she's the star of the show, but also the DNA signature from the suit would be the closest match to her. And they're using the specs from Mom's old suit. And if they could rebuild one anyway, why weren't they doing this anyway? I mean, a time suit would be awfully handy to have, but I didn't realize you can fit this much Deus Ex Machina in one show. Is there a plural for Deus Ex Machinas? Possibly. I don't know. So the rest of the episode, and this all happens in like 15 minutes, the rest of the episode is people saying goodbye to Michael Burnham. And Sarek comes out. And of course, the one scene that prominently features a male, he is apologizing and asking for forgiveness. I crap you not. The only scene is he comes all the way out to the Discovery because through his chakra or whatever, he figures out that Michael Burnham is about to take off. So they somehow fly out to the Discovery, who's supposed to be on a secret mission and running from Section 31, but they have time to rendezvous with Sarek so he could say goodbye to Michael Burnham. And he's shown, this is an affection he's never shown Spock, it's funny. It's funny how bad this thing is. So when he's saying goodbye, the only thing he does, I hope you can forgive me for being this horribly flawed male father. And of course, Michael Burnham goes, of course I can forgive you. And then Michael Burnham's watching her mom's vlog on how to use the time suit. And she's all, listen, time travel is not for the faint of heart. It's very soulful, everything in this. So yeah, it's 20 minutes of saying goodbye to Michael Burnham. And Hugh and Dr. Calder have a little scene where they're still breaking up. I mean, I don't care at this point. And after everybody says goodbye to Michael Burnham, then some of the crew said, we're going with you. This whole thing about bringing Spock on this show, he's just melted back and become one of the crew who are just nodding in affirmation of Michael Burnham all the time. It's always like, there's a scene with Michael Burnham, and then Michael Burnham gives a speech, and everybody's all, that's right. That's Michael Burnham. That's right. I mean, that was your audition to be a crew member on Star Trek Discovery. Can you nod in affirmation? Well, and then Captain Pike says goodbye, which was the only thing that brought up a feeling for me in the show since I've started watching it since season 1 was like, he was the only semi good thing in the show. And I felt the loss. Now it's gone back into season 1 drudgery. So he says goodbye, and there's a big setup, and it's like Leland's ship is an hour away, and he was an hour away for the entire hour, even though they warped to another planet, and the Enterprise followed him, and Sarek was able to come out and meet. But this all happened within an hour. Well, they got a time suit, so I guess they could have figured it out. So of course it's Michael Burnham sending the 7 signals in her Red Angel suit. She needs to go into the future. Because they're going to stick with this great plan of sending the Discovery into the future, even though I believe they've copied the information already. So now there's 2 versions of it, but they seem to have forgotten that. And it doesn't really matter because the show is dumb. My theory is the writers don't talk to each other. I think they just independently write scripts and throw them together. That's the only way you can explain this show. And they only have limited knowledge of the previous episode, like they watched the trailer or something. So, and yeah, that's where the episode ends. They end with prepare for battle. They haven't decided on a captain yet. And does it really matter? We have one more episode. We're going to get one more season, and it certainly looks like, not that I care, because I don't, they can do whatever at this point, but their big explanation, here's my prediction before I get to the chat and the super chats, what the big explanation is going to be for Spock not knowing Michael Burnham, and this is just a guess, that they actually are going to go to another universe, not a mirror universe. They might find their own universe to go into. And in some way, when they travel, because most of the Discovery crews decided to go with Michael Burnham, by the way, to go with her. And they're going to use the Discovery. And this is just a guess, and it could be wrong, that they possibly go to a different universe. And when they go there, they are basically erased from existence from the Prime universe. So therefore Spock will not remember Michael Burnham because she never existed. That would be the only way you really could explain it. The way they could explain it other than that is Spock is so hurt by the loss of Michael Burnham, he never talks about her again, which is definitely something they can do. They did explain the hologram thing again. Because there was that glitch with the holograms, they just got rid of them in the Enterprise, and they're not going to ever use them again. So that was their big explanation for the hologram technology. So if that's a precedent of how they're going to explain how this show fits in the canon, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun how they figure this out, but it's going to be dumb, whatever it is, because they can't even keep track of their own canon. The biggest point of this is Captain Emperor Philippa Georgiou and the fact that she never squints in bright light. Because remember, what was the big difference with Terrans from the Mirror Universe and the Prime Universe is they're light sensitive. Not just Lorca, all of them. And she's not. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get to the super chats real quick, and then I'm going to jump in the chats. It's dumb. If that's really the Borg origin, God, I hope not. But would you be surprised at this point? Like nothing's sacred to these people at all. Not even Star Trek. Thank you again, Mighty Balzac, for the Australian $5. Tech Guy, $2. Pike didn't hear of the Kobayashi Maru wink. Yeah, and Pike was aware, by the way, that Philippa Georgiou, for some reason, blurts out when she beams Pike away that she's from the Terran universe, or Mirror Universe. And he's all, what Mirror Universe? And he winks. Peter Davison, thank you, Tech Guy. Peter Davison for an Australia $2. Borg stiff. Yeah, Borg stiff. Eric Hawk, $2. Thank you, Peter, by the way. Discovery is bigger than Enterprise E by 100 feet. By 100 feet. It looked a lot more than 100 feet to me. As a matter of fact, I might even risk doing a screen grab on that but it looks much bigger. Kilroy, thank you, Eric, for the $2. I'll go back and look while we're live. I'll go back and look. You could be right. It just looked much bigger to me. Kilroy was here, $5. I heard something. Borth also doubles as a school that teaches magic to young witches and wizards. Seriously, that set was literally part of Hogwarts. Exactly. It did. Oh, by the way, some news from my insider that the bridge of the Enterprise, I believe, is pretty much going to be the same bridge of the Picard ship. It's essentially going to look the same. I don't know if that matters, but Peter Davison, Australian $2. Borg stiff. Sorry, it was a bad pun. I get it now, and there's no such thing as a bad pun. All right, I'm a dad. I make dad jokes as well. Sadokar, 7th Legion, £5. Can you plug? Of course I can plug. Can you plug Dave Station VR for PSVR, please? Good to have you back, G-Man. You are loved in the Scottish Highlands. World travelers fast when you are reliable. Word travels fast when you are reliable. Hey, I try to be, and God bless the Scottish Highlands. I hope to go there someday. Yeah. There's a little, according to 23andMe, a little bit of Scottish here. I mean, a little bit of Irish too. I'm a European mutt, we'll just say. But thank you so much. Red Monarch for $2. I'm a casual Star Trek fan, and I feel your pain. And yes, it even hurts for casual fans. And that's the thing, is the casual fans are the ones you need. And they're making this show for people who not only aren't fans, or for people who actively dislike the original series. The kind of people who go, I really hate the cardboard sets and it was old and boring. Or even thought the Next Generation was old and boring. This is the Star Trek for them. But they're finding out that even those people don't like this show. And as I get to the chat, the show's become such a comedy at this point. I was laughing throughout it, especially with the big long goodbye. How many? I lost count. I'm pretty sure there have been 3 like really long goodbyes to Michael Burnham. Like she's about to go and make a selfless act, and we have these slow motion goodbye scenes once per season, maybe. But when you do it 2 or 3 times in a season, and I believe they did it a couple times in season 1 as well, you cannot convince this is a likable character. And they have to be having these conversations at CBS. I know what they're going to say publicly. They have to say this stuff publicly, but let's be real here. Let's put down all animosity. CBS, you, me, just like this. You have to be having these conversations. The data is in. She is not a likable character. Are you going to continue with this? Are you going to hang your hat on Michael Burnham? Because, the only thing I can think of is you might be afraid to fire her because it would be a diversity hire can be a diversity fire. And that's bound to happen. Just do it. See what happens. I don't think you'll get that much heat because not that many people watch the show. I think you would get showered with praise. I was actually getting my hopes up in this episode of going, are they really thinking about getting rid of her? Like, if they really got rid of Michael Burnham, like sent her off with her mom and sent her off on that planet so they can live happily together and forget dad, because who needs dads? Dads are dumb. Men are dumb. And it could be just 2 women of science on a planet together being brilliant and eating ice cream. Tears, #tears, science, and friendship. Or, that would, and then you can continue on with the rest of the crew and try to salvage this. I would say, yes, it might work. You'd have to get rid of, listen, Michelle Paradise again wrote this episode. There's no hope for the future for this show if she's the showrunner. No hope whatsoever. I will get to the chat here and let's get back up. I'm a little behind. Greetings, everybody. It is so happy. I'm here for another day, and then I'm taking off to Chicago for Star Wars Celebration tomorrow. Tomorrow night at Patty Mac's, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is the big meetup, and it will be live streamed, I believe, on World Class Bullshitters channel. But stay tuned to Twitter because I'll be there. What's up, Man of Action? How's it going? Hey, all. I came for the STDs, stayed for the penicillin. We are the fanicillin. Man of Action, we are the fanicillin, and I coined that phrase. I know it's terrible, but I coined it. Bend over. Get your shot. That's right, baby. Deus Ex Machinations. Amari. That's funny. That's funny. Who's Spocko Spockin? Why is he getting his messages deleted? Is he being a little troll? Oh, how boring. Women writers. I know women write. No, especially Al Bundy saying that. Hey, there are good women writers. It's just this particular woman writer sucked. Mikey Spock, are you the son I always wanted? Yes, Mike Cedar. It's pretty much, oh God, just Amanda and Spock hugging and these really long goodbyes, and Sarek just getting his balls cut off again. I don't know if there's anything left of his testes at all after the show. She needs a 40. I feel like I need a 40 after drinking that. And I don't drink after watching that, drinking that. Yeah, I just drank some STD and the inside of my stomach itches. You need to rub Q's head there to make a wish that STD discovery is just all in there. Please make it go away. Make it go away. We appreciate Gary suffering through this. Thank you, nerd. You're welcome, tech guy. Hey, I get to talk to you guys, and it is a very therapeutic. The Orville is next. Critical Equation. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I will be reviewing the Orville right after this. I got to watch it, of course, and then I'll be live, and definitely to cleanse the palate from STD. Orville is amazing. Makes me not care about STD. And honestly, we only have one episode to go, folks. Thank God. And then we get what I predict will be probably a delay of a few months, cheaper episodes as far as they won't get the budget they had, and there'll be a shorter episode count. I have no information. This is just a guess, speculation on my part. I'm guessing 10 episodes, 8 to 10 episodes. There'll be Usually when you're on a streaming service, you can go a full hour. They'll be 45 minutes. They are going to do some short treks. I distinctly remember Kurtzman saying that they were going to do animated short treks this season. So they're running out of time. So I don't know if they're doing it after this season to probably explain a couple of the dumb things they did, but who cares? Is the season over? Too legit to quit? Unfortunately not. Doomcock was hilarious this week. That was a great review, by the way. That was a great review. Gamer Gambit, $2 in Picard's voice. Shut up, Michael Burnham. I am a Sadukar, 7th lead. By the way, thank you, Gamer Gambit, for the $2 super chat. That was a terrible Picard. I'm sorry. I can do it sometimes, but I got to kind of warm up. Sadukar, 7th Legion, £2. Did you like Europe? Nothing like your own bed. I did like Europe. I was ready to come home though. Like 10 days is enough. Like London is a town I could spend like a month in without a problem. Italy, it was cool. It was really nice. It was really, really cool. But honestly, the last few days, all I could think about was getting back to the channel. I know it's bad. But it was great spending time with the family. It was great. So another timeline. Yeah, I think they're going to create their own timeline. That's the only way you can do this. I'm not saying it's a good explanation, but if they try to work this within canon, whatever. And the thing is, they were in better shape before the season started. They made it worse with season 2. They made their canon situation much worse. So I don't know. It almost feels like, well, this probably is what happened. They had showrunners. They wrote out the whole season. They shot a bunch of it, realized it was crap, realizing they were making canon much worse. And they fired the showrunners, made up an excuse, say they were abusing people. Listen, showrunners in Hollywood abuse people every day. Directors in Hollywood abuse people every day. So you can just pick an excuse and get rid of somebody. And they had to spend the rest of the season rewriting and trying to get out of this mess. Unfortunately, they didn't get a talented person to do it. They exist, but it is not Alex Kurtzman. Thank you, Sadikar, 7th Legion. I do appreciate the super chat. Gamer Given, I like that you were doing they are doing a 3rd season. It is a financial loss, and this is costing idiots their production money. The more they waste, we can be done the sooner. And you're right. I also think it's a situation to where I think there'll be a season 3, but I don't think it's 100% guaranteed. There's a lot of stuff going on with Viacom and CBS. I think it's very probable we'll get a season 3. But I still think it'll be delayed. I think there's a lot of politics going on, and I think it will be its last, unless they completely fundamentally change the show. But if they fired another showrunner, I mean, Michelle Paradise is going to be given her chance. And just what I've seen, I'm not hopeful. Did you guys see that picture of Spock with his beard cut and everything? Oh, it's terrible. It is terrible. I don't have time to put it up. If Spocko Spockin is getting that many messages deleted, like, dude, bail. The Picard show might be delayed too. Yes, it looks like it will be. The thing is, I was talking to my insider about this, and this is just speculation because he gave me the information that the Picard shows has a bunch of problems right now, and that it could get delayed. And I asked him, I said, what's in your opinion, do you think Patrick Stewart would walk? And his only answer was, well, he gets paid anyway. So the chances probably would be pretty good that Patrick Stewart would walk. He's not a young man anymore, and he got his money. But they are shooting in Los Angeles where he lives, so I think he can wait it out. I think we'll get the Picard show. I think CBS needs the Picard show. I think the Picard show will bring subscribers at first. I don't think there's any doubt that bringing Picard back to, hey, listen, if Star Trek Discovery was a success, they wouldn't have a Picard show right now. Why would you go back into the well if you had a successful show? So that is proof it is not a success. And they had to bring something else in. I mean, why not lead with a Picard show? Wouldn't that be much better for your streaming network? You're bringing back Patrick Stewart to start to Star Trek. I would have led with that. So the fact that they didn't lead with that and they brought that in later, common sense, logic dictates that Star Trek Discovery is not a success. It is a lie. It is a lie. And of course, they have to perpetuate the lie because their streaming service depends on it. I understand it. It's business, but they need to understand that we're going to point out the bullshit. And it's not business with us. It's actually the opposite of business. It's just being a nerd. And this is what we do. We call out bullshit when you F with things we love. Christian Gang, with the umlaut there, how do you pronounce that? Is it Gang? Gang? Thank you for the £2. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you, and you're going to say you are welcome, but thank you. He anticipated my thank you. He's a psychic. Eric Hawk, $2. Botched it. Enterprise E68, 685 meters. Disco 750 meters. Is that what they're saying? Okay. Hellboy really disappointed tonight. Oh no. Will I am Bo. That sucks. I am a giant Hellboy fan. I have every Hellboy comic, every BPRD comic ever created. I found some Italian comics that were pretty good. I can't read them, but I found some Italian Walking Dead comics. Dave Bob says, I am a psychotic, and you are in the right place, Dave Bob. You really are. H. Riley for £20. Hey, Gary, thanks for another installment of STD Report Review. We'll catch you later when the recording goes up, as I am at work right now and can't quite listen at the time. Wanted to give you some support regardless. Thank you so much. And yes, of course, this will stay on as a video. As I do, I will be doing a shorter version. If you don't want to sit through the entire live stream, I will be doing a short version tonight, and I'll release it Saturday. There is, believe it or not, a Captain Marvel video on the way tomorrow morning, or maybe tonight. I don't know. I'm done with it. I had to get it. It's pretty good. It's from a pretty good Bounding in the Comics article. Thank you very much, H. Riley. And as you see this in the future, hello from the past. Gamer Gambit, $2. Great to see you back home. How was the coffee? Italian espresso. I'm addicted to it. I'm buying an espresso machine, and I will be making it regularly. So I will have my Pete's coffee and an espresso every day. I think the most espressos I had in one day, Gamer Gambit, was 10. Sadukar 7th Legion, $2. You are being noticed now. Watch the Disney sends. What the Disney? Oh, censors. Watch for Disney censors. Yes, I will. It'll be very interesting at Star Wars. I don't listen. I'm not going to Star Wars Celebration to cause any trouble. Period. I like causing trouble here on YouTube and verbally causing trouble, but I will not be going there to ruin anybody's good time. It is a celebration. None of the Star Wars fans, even if you support bad Star Wars, I don't fault you for it. You like what you like, and I'm not going to go there to screw with your good time. That's not how I roll. The main reason I'm going is to see the other YouTubers, but I have to give them a shout out. There was a very kind person who gave me their media pass to get into Star Wars. So, maybe should I say that out loud? I don't want to get them in trouble. You know what? I'll save it for afterwards. Yeah, I just thought about that. I don't want to get him in trouble. So, but hopefully he'll contact me with like something in particular. I'll shout out for him, and I'll shout out, but you know who you are. And if you say it's okay, I will shout you out. But until then, I want to play it safe, and thank you. Baba Jaga 2, $5, or Baba Yaga, $2. I have the same opinion as you with STD. However, I really do like Saru. I think he's the only good, maybe great character in STD. I agree with you. Baba Yaga too. I totally agree with you. Doug Jones is wasted on this show. It is, I like the newer version where he's not a cow. I like that change where he dropped his testicles and now he's a bit of a man. And I like this version much better. I would prefer him to be the captain. I would prefer him to be the star of the show. If Doug Jones was the star of the show and you got rid of Michael Burnham and you got new writers, we could talk. We could talk with the rest of the crew. I could probably even take Tilly in very small doses. But Doug Jones is a real Star Trek character. And why? You want to know why? It's his performance. He was born to be in Star Trek. Jesse L, $1.99. My mouth was agape by this hour long of goodbyes, right? I mean, don't give Lord of the Rings shit anymore. That was an entire hour of goodbyes, and we just had a goodbye with her the last time she was going to die. That was 4 episodes ago. STD gave me an STD. I know. That's why we are here with the Fanicillin, tech guy. With the Fanicillin. What's up, Nihilist Shadow? Doug Jones for the Orville, right? Right. Now, I think everybody loves Doug Jones. I mean, plus he's such a nice guy. And there are some actors who behave themselves on Twitter and who are good people on this show. And then there's Little Ricky, who plays Dr. Calder. That guy's kind of a jackass on Twitter, to be honest with you. Okay, back to the chat here. I know, right? T-Berg sci-fi fan, or T-Berg sci-fi fan, Saru had his knife. Burnham was there. LOL. The one scene I did like, everybody, is Michael Burnham's flash into the future showed Leland jumping on the bridge and gunning everybody down on the Discovery. And I was like, yes, go Leland, go. Yeah, he unfortunately he shot Saru too. Sorry, but you know what? You gotta break some eggs. Be honest, Tilly is a joke. Would you listen to her? No. Sadukar, 7th Legion, 2 pounds. I can handle her in like 30-second. No, I can't. But as I said before, I think Tilly is the one character that the people who still like this show really identify with. You know what I'm saying? Any chance of Star Trek series on Vulcan Society? Peter Davison, Australian, $5. The only problem with that is like where there's no emotion. So I don't think you could center an entire show with a race of people who don't show emotion. But I think you could have. Now, see, that'd be tough. I think Vulcans are good, like 1 per show. It'd be, you know what? Star Trek Discovery's original concept was to be an anthology show. And the anthology show, and it was supposed to be across all points of time of Star Trek, but it would have one overarching plot. I think that would be really interesting, to be honest with you. And you could do like 1 episode based on Vulcan. That would be cool as hell. And that's what's still happening with Star Trek Discovery, apparently, is they're still mining off of Brian Fuller's original concepts and executing them poorly. Rhino 4563, $5. Greetings, Gary. I think the thing that annoys me the most about STD is the damn ship. It's a prequel, but the ship belongs in the future. Yes. And I'm not going to risk showing it, but if you look at it next to the Enterprise, it's cleaner, it's bigger, it looks way more advanced. And that's why one theory I heard is they shoot Discovery like we've seen the Discovery 1,000 years in the future. So think about they could shoot the Discovery an insane amount of time in the future to where civilizations have risen and fallen and risen and fallen, and it could just be at some point in the future where the civilizations have fallen due to some war or some cataclysm or something like that. They've done that in Doctor Who a million times, where they go like so damn far in the future that things have just digressed to nothing. You can kind of do that, but it would just be one ship on its own, and then it's Voyager at that point. Yeah, Star Trek lived a good long life. It did. 50. Well, it's not really. I mean, it's been around 55 years, but it ended with Enterprise. let's be honest, it ended with Enterprise. So that was what, 45, 40 years? Not a bad run. And, you know, I feel the same way about my beloved Doctor Who. It was not a bad run, but it's done. And feel the same way about Star Wars. And we just got to support the new stuff now, which The Expanse, the Orville, the Tick just came back on. That's a great show. All right, everybody. I'm going to go watch the Orville. If you want to join me for another recap in about an hour. For those of you who don't want to sit through again this entire live stream, which I will be keeping up, I will be doing a shorter version, which is just giving you my basic thoughts again, a little more succinct. I'm not going to be doing a breakdown until the finale. Those take a ton of time, but I will be doing it with the finale. And I think I might be doing those with Doctor Who, because I didn't do any of a big breakdown with any of the Doctor Who episodes. I think I'm going to do that for series 11. Spoon, that's right. Dave Bob, what's Marina Sirtis? Am I missing that? Who's Marina Sirtis? He's just shouting that name. Am I saying it right? What is that, Dave Bob? Okay, Mike Brown, I got your books today. Hang on. At least I have it. There we go. Got them in the PO box. These are books written. I'm going to show this off on the live. Well, I'm on a live stream now, but it was going to be on a nooner. But let's do it real quick. Mike Brown is an author. Yeah, and sent me all these, and I'm going to read and review them. So thanks, man. Freaking brilliant. It's Hell Sent, The Wreck, and Despot. I'm going to say this wrong. Is it Despot's Paradise? The Atlantis Chronicles. Looks cool as hell. Look at this. Nice. Good job. Thank you so much. Yes, I have a PO box. I got a bunch of fun things. And you can, it's on the about section of my page or on my website. You can find it there. Dawn French should have been the first female doctor. Sadokar 7th Legion, 2 pounds. Thank you so much. I don't want there to be a female doctor. I'm going to be the unpopular opinion. I want them to make a separate female Time Lord character that I would be more than happy to support along with the doctor. What you essentially did, though, is instead of having 2 characters to make a political point, you took away one and gave nobody or gave no one. There was nothing to root for. In other words, I can't make words right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm still a little jet lagged. Remember the good old days when Kirk and Spock fought to the death over T'Pring? Yeah, you know, the good old days, Hammer. Cotton Candy Beer Gary, what's up? Awesome. Look at the cool books. I look like cool books. They are definitely cool books. And thank you, my friend. And I will be shouting you out. All right. So it's time for the Orville. Everybody, Jaloja. Star Trek Discovery sucks. It's the dumbest show on television. They can put out as many copyright strikes as they want. We didn't write your show. We didn't make your show. Certainly it looks pretty when you have the camera sitting, but all that gets taken away as soon as an actor delivers some of that horrible dialogue that was quote unquote written on the back of a sticky note. Because I'm really not sure how the hell these could be scripts. What's up, Rick Lucy? Welcome back, and thank you for taking the pain of this STD. What is up, my friend Rick Lucy? How's it going? All right, yeah, no problem, guys. So Orville is next. I will be back next week for the last STD Live. Oh my God, I wish forever, but for season 2. So everybody be here. That one will be on time. It will be at 6:40 p.m. Pacific time. But until then, I'll see most of you in an hour, right? I'm going to watch the Orville and I'll be right back on. Thank you all for the super chats. Oh, wait. Did I say that one? Okay. I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss any. I didn't. Good. I didn't. And everybody, sorry I couldn't get to everybody in the chat, but I do read it. I keep it up on my screen and I read it all. But if you do want to get my attention, definitely copy and paste it and put it in the comment section. Don't forget to like. That really helps the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. And yeah, keep an eye on Twitter for Star Wars Celebration information. I fly there tomorrow. Mike Brown, thank you again. And I will next time I do a nooner live stream, Mike, I'll get the proper links set out and everything. So thanks again for the books. I really appreciate you thinking about me and sending me the books for nothing. That's cool. All right, everybody. I know it's the longest. That was almost as long. I see. I'm trying to do a long goodbye like Star Trek Discovery. Man, it's just been a while. I'm so happy to be live streaming. I'll see you guys in an hour. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness and hashtag tears, science, and friendship.